One of the worst fake gurus and prosperity pimps on the internet, Cheyenne Bryant, went to the Breakfast Club this morning to respond back to the allegations that she's not a real doctor. And she's been lying and perpetuating that lie for financial gain and career advancement for years. Her rebuttal to these allegations that she's an absolute fraud and a fake doctor not only didn't help her case, but it completely dismantled her case, took away her credibility, and proved she's an absolute fraud. It did the opposite of what she intended. She inadvertently snitched on herself. Now, if you guys have not been following this situation, then let me break it down for you guys very briefly. Cheyenne Bryant listed herself as a doctor, paraded herself as a doctor. Now, her educational history is listed on her website. She says she went to the California State University at 17. Then she entered into a master's program at the University of Phoenix. However, that's written very specifically. She never stated she graduated that master program and never listed what the master's program was. But she says she enrolled into a master program, got clarity on what she wanted to do, and then enrolled in Argos University and earned a doctorate. Now, what that clarity was, who knows? Was she saying she entered into the master program, dropped out, went to Argos for a doctorate? Who knows? Even in this other interview she did, look at how oddly and specifically written this is. She didn't realize what had triggered her interest until she entered the master's program at University of Phoenix. Never lists exactly what that program was or what the field was. She then says she was about halfway through the master's program and boom, it hit her. She had a lot of healing within herself that needed to be done. Dr. Bryant's desire for self-fulfillment, healing, peace, and balance within herself and others drew her to the field of psychology. Being the overachiever that she is, Dr. Bryant decided to pursue her doctorate in counseling psychology from Argos University. You see how oddly written that is? This is the second time she never lists what her master's was in, never listed if she finished the master's program, simply said she was enrolled in the master's program, then halfway through, boom, she found herself, self-fulfillment, then she earned a doctorate. Excuse me? What are we talking about here? Why is it so complicated to find out what this woman is? Then this week, a real doctor made a video exposing Cheyenne Bryant and the dangers of what she's doing online.
When evaluating anyone's credentials, it's really critical to look at two things: what their doctorate is actually in and whether they hold a relevant clinical license. In this case, the person you're about to hear from is unlicensed. I'm going to break down why that matters and why this particular message is harmful, especially to the Black community that she claims to be serving and that I actually serve.
A license is really only needed so you can bill insurance.
That is incredibly misleading. Yes, you do need a license to bill insurance, but that is not why licensure exists. Licensure protects you. It means I have completed specific education and supervised clinical hours, passed rigorous exams, and I'm accountable to a regulatory board. If I breach confidentiality, if I cross ethical boundaries or harm you, you have somewhere to file a complaint and be sure that I'm held accountable. A license is not paperwork just for billing. It's a consumer protection. When someone drops or loses or no longer has a license, they're not solely avoiding the insurance hassle. They're also removing your recourse if something goes terribly wrong.
Not binded by BBS, the Behavior Board Science Rules and Regulations and Ethics, and so it just opened up a whole nother floor in industry for me.
And she's also saying this like it's a good thing. I want to state something really important. Ethics codes exist to protect you from exploitation and boundary violation. And
this is a 10-minute video, but at the end of the video, the doctor essentially got to the bottom of Cheyenne Bryant is not licensed. She's not licensed to do therapy, so hence her charging for therapy sessions is wrong. Now, she also will list that Cheyenne Bryant knows this, so in some interviews, she will call herself a therapist, while in some interviews, she would list herself as a life coach.
As a therapist, two things: you can obviously make what you deserve, because therapy is real. We're giving everything we have in there.
In her response, this prosperity pimp will say that she's never listed herself as a therapist. She's never called herself a therapist. We can go to her bio and see she don't have therapist listed in her bio because she don't call herself a therapist. Obviously, that's not true because we just played the audio of her calling herself a therapist. I've never seen a worse charlatan in my life. This woman is a charlatan. She's dangerous. So during these viral interviews that are the lead generators, this is where clients are finding her. During the viral interviews with millions of views, she's calling herself a therapist. She's qualifying herself to give therapy. She's calling herself a doctor. And the clients that discover her during these interviews are coming to her already under the assumption that she's a therapist, she's qualified to give therapy, and that she's a doctor. So when they purchase like the coaching session, they don't read the bio because you already told them you are a therapist and you are qualified to give therapy. But she lists herself as a life coach in her bio to evade criminal punishment. And the doctor, the real doctor, will say that. Yo, she deliberately misleads people.
Mental health professional.
I get it. So if I'm a mental health professional, I have to be licensed. I can't opt out. But if I use the word life coach, I can, or career coach or relationship coach, that's the workaround. The workaround is just saying you're not that thing. You give it, naming it something else. She is self-identified as a therapist, as a psychologist. So when she's giving the advice, doesn't that give at least the impression that this is mental health professional work happening?
But the problem is the workaround is only on the purchase button. So again, she leads you to the website. You click on purchase, but in fine print when you're about to purchase, I'm not a therapist, I'm a life coach. But you told me you were a therapist to get me on the website to buy. That's the problem. So she went on the Breakfast Club to clarify and to rebuttal all the claims about her doctorate degree and the lies that she's been telling. And when she went on the Breakfast Club, this is why you have to allow a liar to talk long enough, because they would just expose themselves. So she goes on the Breakfast Club and she gets to yapping, and she accidentally exposes that she's not a doctor and she's been lying this entire time.
The conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online.
Mm-hmm.
How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that, because I don't give a about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired.
Whenever somebody is trying to explain away a lie, pay attention whenever they start giving you unnecessary extra details. The official transcripts, I think, is like the last thing the internet is asking for. I think the internet is asking you for, do you have your diploma at least? Do you have pictures of you on your graduation day? Right? Do you have pictures of you? Like, do you have anything that could, your dissertation, anything that could document you are a doctor? The official transcripts is like the last resort. Do you have the unofficial transcripts? Do you have the diploma? Anything. But when you start getting into, hey man, I apply to be a professor at a law school, and pay attention. Because in this particular interview here with the Breakfast Club, she said too much. She usually kept it vague, but she said too much, and everything she says 100% confirms she's not a doctor and she's a fraud.
And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Where I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no, because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program.
If you let them talk long enough, they would tell it themselves. This right here just exposed her. What she is referencing is the closed school discharge program, where federal student aid will cancel what you owe and give back what you paid after a school you have attended has closed down. Well, there are criteria you must meet. She says she met those criteria because they gave her the option. This is the official federal student aid website. So if your school closes while you are enrolled or soon after you withdraw, you may be eligible for discharge of your federal student loan. Loan discharge is the removal of your obligations. So if you scroll down, okay, they said right here, there are certain requirements to qualify for a closed school loan discharge. If you scroll down, they list down what those criteria are. You may be eligible for a full discharge of your William D. Ford federal direct loan, et cetera, and right here is the criteria, okay? Federal personal loans received to attend the school if you were unable to complete your program of study because that school closed and you were enrolled when your school closed. B, you were in approved leave of absence when your school closed, or your school closed within 180 days after you withdraw. You are not eligible for discharge of your loans if your school closes and any of the following is true. You graduated or completed your program at the closed school. You do not qualify. She says she qualified. They gave her the option, right, to have everything canceled. Your obligation has taken away. They says you would never qualify for this, obviously, right? If you've been to school, then you know this. If you graduated or completed your program at the closed school, the only way she will qualify for this program is if she didn't graduate or complete, like the program at the school. You would also, right, not qualify if you withdrew more than 180 days before the school closed, unless you can demonstrate an exceptional circumstance. She was claiming to be a doctor back in 2015. She says that she went and inquired about this more than 2 years later. Well, that's drastically past the 180 days deadline, right? You also won't qualify if you're completing or have graduated from a teach-out agreement at another school approved by the school's accrediting agency, et cetera, et cetera. You also don't qualify if you have you're completing or have graduated from a program of study at a different branch or location of the school that closed. She did not graduate or finish the program, which is why she qualified for this. She told on herself, she snitched on herself. You going to jail, bruh. She just snitched on her. You going to jail, man. She just snitched on herself. Now, here is her further trying to explain this absolute absurdity and even admitting and confessing right now she has no way of proving whatsoever if she's actually a doctor because she can't get the transcripts, she can't get her a dissertation, she can't get her diploma. So right now, she's saying, take her word for it.
Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time. And I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up.
Which confirms our suspicion. She conveniently says, she was able to download and she got the transcripts from probably year 1 and 2. Because don't a doctoral student complete their dissertation towards the end of year 2, maybe going into year 3, right? So she claims she has transcripts from year 1 and 2, but she doesn't have official transcripts or unofficial transcripts to prove the completion. So she says she would, just conveniently download her transcripts after each and every year, and then she just stopped downloading her transcripts after year 3 or 4. So she got the downloaded transcripts from year 1 and 2, but don't got the completion transcripts, don't got the full transcripts for all 4 years of her doctorate program. All right, man. Hey, listen, man, if y'all buying this, man. But then she continued and even tried to get throw some shots at the doctor, as if people is hating on her, which to me is bro, nobody's hating on you, bro. Just keep it real. You don't got a doctorate.
Just in
They
general.
are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless. But
No, that's fine. And it's not even that there's no records that I don't. The school had a third party that carried the records only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me, it's any student that attended Argosy. But again, it doesn't, how can I say it? It doesn't affect me because if I chose to go get a license as an LMFT, I have my master's in marriage, family, child therapist. I have my hours. I can just take that and say, hey, let me submit these for licensure, and I want to go sit for my exam, and all I have to do is study. I don't need a doctorate in counseling psychology to go get licensed as a therapist. That's what we're all missing.
they say the reason that you don't get questioned or tested as much is because of your quote unquote looks.
I said this last time I was on. You might be my alter ego brother, because some of the stuff you say is just right up the alley of what needs to be addressed. So there's pretty privilege, and I've learned that there's pretty punishment.
I blame whoever told this lady that she was attractive one time, because she is really running with this, bro. I even seen another interview where she was on, I think it was the Joe Budden podcast, man. She was talking about, yeah, like when you look like this, I know I got a nice body and I look good, so I have a certain weight. I can't, oh my God. So apparently she's just the most beautiful woman on earth, and that's why the world is calling her out for being a fraud and hating. Y'all let me know in the comment section, bro. All right, what do y'all think about this, man? This Breakfast Club interview completely exposed her whatsoever. She can no longer claim this again. They exposed you badly, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? Do y'all feel like she's a doctor? All right, is she telling the truth? Let me know, okay? If you're watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, somewhere on my screen. So watch me break down how that racist guy who goes around calling black people the N-word, he just got exposed, right, for liking it up as you know what and being pegged, right, by, sex workers. Click on this video right here to find out how we break this down and how he got exposed. I'm gonna see you guys in this video. Also, send me a hype to please push my video. Send me a hype. I'm gonna see you guys in this video right here. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.